Power lunch. Power lunch. It's always so weird. It's always so weird when you like start these lives because like you don't really know what to do or say. So you're just kind of sitting here. Hi everyone. Yay. I'm so excited for the second episode of Power Lunch. Thank you to everyone who joined the first episode. That was really, really fun. And you guys gave such amazing feedback. So thank you again for tuning in, and thank you for tuning in today. I'm really, really excited for my guest today. So that will be fun. She'll be coming on at 1:10 p.m. But yeah, so as I promised, every episode, at the top of the episode, I was going to address some topics that I know some of you were very interested in, me speaking about. And one of the things that have come up multiple times, and multiple people have reached out about talking about finances. And I think it's so important to address finances because the biggest thing is like, especially women, right? When you start your own business, like how do you know what to charge? How do you know what you're worth? And I think most of the time we're so afraid to ask for, the fees that are worth our services and our values. So I think it's so important to have the conversation around it, because I think people tend to shy away from talking about money and finances, especially again, women. So when I first started my business, one of the first things that I did, and I was very lucky because I, again, came from a small PR firm, and I really had the opportunity to kind of know the ins and outs of the business, and that included the finances part. So I kind of had an idea of like, what we were charging our clients, and, like what fees that we were charging our clients. So one of the things that, I would suggest doing is to do your research. I personally was lucky that I had that baseline of knowledge, but if you are starting out your own company and this is your first time getting into business, I would do your research, ask around, see what people are charging in that industry. And it could be as simple as honestly asking someone out for coffee who has been in the business for a long time, and asking them like, okay, what are you charging your clients? And then kind of do a comparison of that. So don't just ask one person, ask like multiple people, and just kind of like compare from there and see what sits, well with you. Because I think once you know what the standard is in the industry, then it'll give you the opportunity and the idea to kind of price it at what you feel is best for your services. The other thing is to really know your value and what you're offering in terms of your services, right? Because at the end of the day, what you have to offer as a service or as a, as a business, like what is the return of investment for, I'm speaking in terms of the service industry. So like for me, my business is more service oriented. So what is your value? What are you offering to your clients? And what is the return of investment that they're getting out of it? So, when you pick your pricing and when you pick your fees, be ready to justify, I guess, why you're charging what you're charging. And be confident in that knowledge that, hey, like I'm helping you with your career. Like if you're a personal finance coach, for example, you're helping them grow their wealth. So like be able to justify, okay, I'm spending this much hours on this, and this is what you're going to get out of the services. So, really understand your value and your worth. And that takes sitting down and just writing everything down about like what your business has to offer. Another good way to determine, hey everyone, just getting waves. Another way to determine how to charge your clients is maybe to think about, see, this is what happens when you have a live feed. Tripods fall over. Anyways, one of the other things to help you determine what to charge your client is to really think about, okay, what salary do I want to earn from the services that I'm offering? And also keep in mind that you will have business expenses too. But say you want to earn 60 grand a year. The easiest way to break this down, and I saw this formula online, but basically there's about 2,000 hours, I believe, in a year, I think. Don't quote me on that. That could be wrong math. But what I found online is that you take the salary that you want to earn and divide it by that. So for example, if you want to target making 60 grand a year, divide that by 2,000, and I think that that's the equivalent of like $30 an hour. So you kind of determine from there, like, okay, if I want to make 60 grand, I need to charge $30 an hour, and base it on like a 40-hour work week kind of thing. So that's another way to look at it. But also determine if you want to charge hourly or monthly fees. That's another important thing, because again, you'll be able to justify your services based on how you're charging them. So for me personally, I prefer to charge a monthly fee, just because you can't really measure the hours of the work that I'm doing. So I prefer to personally do a monthly fee, and then from there, I show to my clients what kind of work gets done within that month. So I would also say try to have about 3 to 4 different options in terms of your fee. So what I mean by that is, don't just give them, I'm charging you this much for 1 month, and that's it. That's the only option. I think it's so important to give an a la carte menu of options for your clients. So for example, let's say you're a website designer and social media developer, and I would, say, okay, if you want your website designed, this is how much it is. But if you want to add social media to that, this is the additional cost. So kind of like an a la carte menu. I find that works really well, because then it, shows the client that they have options, so they don't just have to pay this one-time huge fee. And then the other thing is be prepared to negotiate. That's another thing that I really had to learn was, not everyone is going to say yes to your fee. To this day, there's still people who say no to my fees. And I've been doing this for the last 4 years now. So be prepared to negotiate. But the one important thing is do not lower your standards. So I learned that the hard way. I've set a baseline, and then people have come back to me and asked me for less. I regretted that fully, to be honest, because it set a precedent for myself that I was willing to lower my standards. So I think it's just remembering, it's hard to obviously turn down money, especially if you're just starting out a business, but you need to be able to set a precedent for yourself and for your clients. So, stick with a fee and be confident in that. And if they say no, again, for me, I personally think when a door closes, it just means another door is opening. So I try not to look at it as I lost something. It's just that person was just not aligned with my business. And that's with anything, right? That's with anything in life. So yeah, just be prepared to negotiate, but at the same time, again, don't lower your standard. That's my biggest advice. I think at the end of the day, if you keep allowing for people to pay you less than what you deserve, then you're not going to feel motivated to grow. I think you're just going to kind of get stuck in that mentality. And then the final thing I would say is reevaluate your fees for your services every single year. That's really, really important, because if you think about it, cost of living obviously changes. I mean, we've seen that during the pandemic. Your skills improve over time, your knowledge, your experience improves over time. So all of these things, as you get more experience, your value goes up. So don't be afraid to, ask for more money. And that's the thing. I think so many people are so afraid to ask for more, especially, I know I keep calling out women, but it's true. We're so afraid to ask for our worth and ask for more, because we don't want to ruffle the feathers or whatever. But at the end of the day, if you're giving value, and if you are offering a service that has a great return of investment for people, then, be confident in that. Be confident in your services and make that money at the end of the day. So yeah, that's basically it in terms of the financial part. I'm really excited about my guest. I don't know if you guys can tell, but I sort of dressed up a little bit more today. So my next guest is Rebecca Wengle. She is a Toronto fashion stylist. I've personally worked with her before. She styled me for a couple of photo shoots and stuff like that. And I'm so excited to talk to her, because I want to share a quick story before she joins me, but I actually like I wanted to get into fashion styling when I first moved to Toronto, and I don't know, I just love fashion and everything about it sounded so interesting. I love dressing up my friends. I remember in university, and honestly, it's not as easy as it looks. And like I know Rebecca will share her stories. But yeah, like there's a lot to it. So I'm really excited to talk to her about her business. She's amazing. She's worked with personally with some of my clients. So I'm really excited for her to join me. So I see her right there. Hi, Rebecca. Just waiting for her to join. Request to join. But yeah, no, I'm excited to hear about the fashion side of business and just her doing her thing. So it'll be fun. If you guys have any questions, let me know. Just put it in the comments. All right, here we go. Yay! She's about to join me. Um, Hi! Look
Huh?
at you.
I'm not the most technologically savvy, so I'm very proud of myself right now.
You did it! You did it.
I,
No, honestly, like going live is like sometimes it's a little scary because you're just like, oh, what if it doesn't work? And like, you know what I mean? And you're like, what if tech
that,
things happen? And
that, and there's apparently something going on with Rogers and like the
I know
network. So I was like, oh no, is this gonna work? But yes, we are here, and
we're
I'm
here.
joining you. Thanks so much for having me, Amira.
Oh my
You,
God, thank.
by the way.
Well, just so you guys know, Rebecca was actually styling me last night. I was putting clothes together and I was sending her photos of it, just like a true stylist. She was like, yes, this works. Let's go with this. So I'm really happy with what I'm wearing because of you, because you're the styling queen, and I'm so excited to talk to
Oh,
you. So thank you for taking the time to be here.
thank you so much for having me. I really, really appreciate it. And
Yay!
yeah, it's been a little bit lonely in this pandemic, so I'm excited to be able to chat with everybody, share what's been going on. I've been working on, little things here and there, some big new opportunities, which I'm excited to share with all of you. And yeah,
Yay! Amazing. Well, let's get started. First of all, tell us about, like, I gave a little bit of an intro, but tell us about who you are and about your business.
awesome. Okay, well, my name is Rebecca Wengle, obviously. I am a fashion stylist. I do anything from styling editorials, as well as I do a lot of commercial work. So Soft Mock Shoes is one of my biggest clients. I work on their ad campaign twice a year. And yeah, I've worked with Nike on some commercials for them, and done some music videos as well. And as of lately, I've been focusing more on my one-on-one personally styling. So, Amira, you can attest to this. I love to create looks for, little mini photo shoots, personal photo shoots for people, whether it's headshots for anything, or magazine editorials. I do personal shopping as well. So, there's a lot. I wear many hats, let's just say, in the creative industry, not just the fashion side of things, but, just creating the overall scene and the overall, end images that are going to happen and come out of all of this. So, yeah, so it's been an exciting journey, a long journey of doing wardrobe styling for I started off by assisting a wardrobe stylist, Nikki Stevens. So she was my mentor for the longest time, and gave me my first opportunities to be able to work with some artists, as well as some just big names in the industry.
Mm-hmm.
And then, yeah, from there, I just kind of went off, fell in love, and I was like, this is definitely what I need to be doing. I get to be creative. I get to work with amazing other creatives, amazing, people like yourself. I've worked with a couple actresses and
Yeah.
actors, and yeah, I love what I do. And I like to be able to do everything from creating the background to finding the talent as well, and kind of like directing everybody into which direction we're going to be going creatively, and just setting up the photo shoots as well, whether it's for person, or a brand, working with their pieces and figuring out, okay, how am I going to tell the story of this brand?
Hmm.
And going with that.
I love that. I love all of that. And like I said in the beginning, like the world of styling always was so interesting to me. And like I personally, because I love dressing up, I love fashion, but like what inspired you to even get into this business? Like what was it that like you're like, aha, like I want to be a stylist?
Well, honestly, growing up, I've always been the person, I love to wear different things. Like my mom even told me when I was younger, I would be like, "No, mom, you can't dress me. I'm dressing myself." Like this is where where I strive. I've always had an interest in fashion and the creativeness of it, and being able to express yourself through what you're wearing is really,
Hmm.
really a big thing for me. I know that, if I'm wearing sweatpants, my mood is totally different to like, wearing my blazer and like dressing up and doing my hair and, doing my whole outfit. It totally changes my mind and just how I go about, doing everything for the day. My confidence, level goes up. I know,
Oh,
with our,
trust me, like even now, like when dressing up for this, I'm just like I feel so much better. Like I know it's the pandemic and everyone's been kind of wearing like the sweats outfit, and so like I feel like dressing up, I'm like, oh my God, I feel like I can do anything.
exactly. I feel so empowered. I'm like, okay, let's go. I feel then it's almost like playing a character, it's like similar to acting. It's like you put on an outfit and you become a totally different person. It just, there's something about it, even like the color, it inspires, it lightens the mood, it brightens your day. And it can, yeah, it can totally change your mindset, which
I
which
love it.
yeah.
I
um
love it.
and I love
Um,
as well. So that was a big thing to be able to do, do my creative, my fashion, but also be able to work with others and help them, curate their closets or curate their looks for whatever it may be, whether it's, a performance or a photo shoot or just, your everyday wardrobe to go to work. Some women come to me and they're like, my body has changed, my lifestyle's changed, my career has changed. And I'm like, okay, let's take a look at what you have. Because, there's always ways to make it look, to make your wardrobe work with that, what you already have, and just build on that. Because there's always key pieces that I believe every woman should have in their closet, even a man, like blue jeans, essential. Have a nice pair of blue jeans to wear. Um, White t-shirt, crisp, some blazer of some sort, or, a big thing I love is leather jackets. I'm totally into
yes,
edginess, right? So a good leather jacket. Yeah.
I
So
love that.
that's what's inspired me and what keeps me going, to just help others find their confidence with what they're wearing,
And,
and,
absolutely.
and
And yeah, and I love that because like people can look at fashion as kind of like a very like you're kind of like self-observe or whatever, but I really do think it does help a lot with your mental health because it's like if you feel good from the outside, you're gonna feel good from the, and I know that's so cliche, but it's so true. Like even
so
again, like today,
it's
right? Like today I was like, oh my God, like I feel better, you know?
right. Even me, like I'm not usually this stressed up lately because I've been working from home a lot, and so it's been nice, today to be able to dress up, and I'm already exuding like starting my day off like this has been
I,
great. Like I'm exuding that energy of like power and confidence and
yes, I love your
yeah,
blazer, by the way. Like the
thank
blazer
you,
is boss. I'm just like,
thank,
okay, you look great. So, I
thank
mean, you always look great, but the blazer, it just something about a blazer, right? Like it just makes you
right,
feel official. So, yeah,
professional, and I like it.
exactly. So, well, obviously, fashion is a tough industry. I mean, everyone knows that. I think even people who don't know that, they watch like Devil Wears Prada and stuff like that. So,
Inspired, yeah, exactly.
yeah. So like what are some, challenges that you faced in your career and in your business and like how did you overcome them?
So, one of my biggest challenges is kind of, well, first it was figuring out what exactly, because there are so many different paths you can take with styling alone. So that was the first challenge, was figuring out, okay, do I want to do more commercial work? Do I want to be more creative with like, the fashion editorial stuff, or working with brands and doing their campaigns, which is a little more, you know, fun and exciting and very high fashion. And then there's also like, the personal shopping, the
Mm.
one-on-one clients. And yeah, so that was a challenge first, just figuring out what route I wanted to go, what path I would take. And then, just figuring out how to pivot myself in this pandemic has been also a challenge. And keeping up with everything, because yeah, you know how it's been so difficult with all the changes, the restrictions has made my job a little bit harder, because I'm usually out and, getting my inspiration in store and, pulling pieces from different stores or different
Yeah.
designs, which obviously I can't do in person anymore. So it's become a little bit more of a challenge for sure. But honestly, I've made it work. I'll do big orders. If I'm trying to find the perfect piece, sometimes I'll just order a bunch of pieces and see which one works. And then, I'll send back the rest. Or
Hmm.
working with personal designers, it's easier because I can, get a courier to, pick up the pieces or have them sent to me and then try them out, see what works, what doesn't, which has been really great. Um, Another challenge that, I've always found is kind of helping my audience to understand what I really do and what I can do for them, and putting the value in that. Because again, like you were saying before, it's fashion isn't always, something people think, mental health, and that's something that is
Yeah.
important for us. So yeah, being able to explain that and really make my client understand that it's a very important thing, and that it puts, the wardrobe in a photo shoot can make or
Mm.
break a photo shoot sometimes, like if it's not done right, or you're not, pulling the right pieces, it may not get across to the audience that you want it to.
Yeah,
So
it's storytelling at the end of the day, right? Like
yeah,
whether it's a photo shoot or whether it's even like yourself, like how you
yeah,
carry yourself out in the world. Like I always say that I think it's so important, like even like as a businesswoman for me, like when I have meetings, like you obviously want to kind of sort of tell a story about like who you are. And I think a part of how you tell that story is through your wardrobe, right?
definitely, for sure. And that's where it comes from first, I find anyways. It comes from the outer, and then you feel it within for the
Yeah.
most part. So
No, that's amazing. And so what is, and just going back to like the world of fashion, I mean, for anyone out there who's watching who wants to be a stylist, like what are some of the biggest misconceptions about a stylist?
oh wow. So there's very much, I know that it seems very glamorous, and like, it's going to be, high fashion and fashion shows all the time, and, picking up the trends and things like that. But it is a lot more grueling than it seems, especially being, it's a lot of, you have to be able to carry a lot of weight. So
I
I'm
was
usually
just gonna
back.
say, I'm like, guys, whenever I see Rebecca, she has like 5,000 bags on her arms, and I'm like, this girl must do like 100 push-ups because she can carry so many bags.
Yeah, my workout. Like I'm just like, I'm small, but I'm very mighty. So yeah, it's definitely very physical work. And I'm usually not the one who's looking so glamorous on set. I'm usually the one who's like, fixing everything and, steaming and getting all sweaty and gross. So yeah, my focus is definitely on the client always. So my look doesn't really matter as much when I'm on set. It's not as glamorous as it seems. But by the end of it, it's the result, right? It's what comes out of it at the end of the day, that makes it all the more worth it. But yeah, definitely not as glamorous as it seems, to all those out there, but also very fun. I love it. I really do love it. And it's not just shopping and, doing all those, that's not usually the job. Usually the job is going in, finding those trends, doing my research. I'm constantly on my computer, constantly on my phone. To be honest, if I were to show you what I do in a day, it doesn't really look like that much fun. Fun nonetheless.
Yeah, no, and that's the thing. It's like I think a lot of people have misconceptions about like glamorous type jobs. It's like there's a lot of stuff that goes on behind the scenes that people don't know. I just want to say someone in the comments that Carolyn, she says, "Love you, Rebecca. You're amazing on set," and I agree. She is amazing on set. Like literally, Rebecca is a superstar. So, yay! One of the things I want to know is, like for me, like I always have these aha moments during like, during the year or during the months or whatever, and where I'm like, oh my God, like you just kind of you have like a pinch yourself moment where you're like, oh my God, did that just happen? So maybe tell me about a time where you've like had an aha moment and you're like, holy crap, like, is this really happening for me? Like that success moment where you felt like, oh my God, I finally kind of reached like a certain point of my career where I feel so great about everything going on.
Yeah. Okay. So I've had a lot of those moments. I mean, I'd say that because, I find that there's excitement in every job that I do, no matter how small or big it is. But my most recent excitement moment was being able to work with local shops. I did a locals only kind of thing where I was featuring, local businesses. And it was at the time in the pandemic, just before Christmas when people were doing their Christmas shopping. And, I really wanted to put a focus on our local shops and, put aside the Amazon, the Walmart, like the big shops that don't need as much help, especially, throughout the pandemic. They seem to be doing okay. So yeah, that was a great opportunity. And to see how many people were really interested to join in, it was just a matter of me reaching out to local businesses and saying, hey, here's my idea. And yeah, I was so surprised by how many people were just dying to join in and how big it got and how well it did, how much, you know, recognition it got as well. And to be able to be not only pulling the pieces and curating the pieces that will be joined in on in the locals only, but being able to create sets and be a more creative director of sorts on this was a great opportunity for me. I did just about everything, and I was very impressed that I was able to do it all in a very short amount of time. Turnaround time was tight, and it turned out to be a great success. And I can't wait because I'm going to definitely be doing it again next Christmas. And yeah, I'm excited to see who else will want to join in. And yeah.
I love that. And if you guys follow Rebecca on social media, if you guys should all follow her anyway. Her stuff is amazing. But yeah, like when I saw what you posted about that, I was like, that's so amazing. And it's also nice to just come together and just like, put a spotlight on the small businesses and just like the fashion industry within the city and within the country. So I think that's so important. So yeah, it's crazy because time's flying, but I want to wrap this interview up with, obviously you're in fashion and you're a stylist. So we want to know what are some spring, summer trends that we should be, wearing. I mean, I know we're kind of in lockdown right now, but when the weather starts getting good, like we want to look fly when we're out there.
And who's to say you can't look fly on your couch watching TV or, outside in your backyard just doing your thing?
Yes, exactly. You can still take pictures and post it on Instagram. It's fine. People will see the outfits.
Photo ops, always. I'm always down for a photo op. So a few trends that I wanted to talk about, a few that I'm dying to wear and starting to wear anyways as the weather gets warmer is so pearls. Earrings are by Dolores Jewelry. She makes some beautiful pieces, Toronto born, local also. So she does some like beautiful brushed metals with like Baroque pearl, which is kind of like a different take. So on the pearl, I used to think pearls made me think, my grandmother or like, a little bit of an older generation.
Yes.
But now I love these different takes on it where it's, you know, a little bit of a, you know, more edgy take, but with
Love
the
it.
pearl, you know, and the very ladylikeness of it. So yeah, pearls. I've seen pearl earrings. I've seen pearl purses lately. Pearl top.
Cute.
Yeah, I'm in love. I
A
love
pearl
a
top? That's
pearl
so
top.
pearl is actually my birthstone, so I've always worn pearls.
Amazing. Okay,
So
we got
I'm really excited.
it. Definitely. Yeah. Oh, I
I
love.
love this trend.
Yes. Another trend is the baggy jeans. So personally, I know we're both small and I know that I struggle with wearing the baggier clothes. I tend to wear more fitted pieces just because of how petite we are, but we can still do it. Don't, there's a misconception on that. We can definitely do a baggy denim. What I like is a more higher waisted baggy denim, and then just belt it and accentuate that waistline. And then get something, you know, for us more petite, shorter, you know, we would do something that's more cut just above the ankle,
Yes.
show a little bit more leg. Um, and another trend is I like to do scarves as tops. So that's my new thing that I'm going to be doing all summer because I have so many beautiful silk scarves, and I'm sure that everybody does in their closet have some sort of gorgeous scarf. And what better way to reuse it than to wear it as a shirt as well?
I
And that's,
love that.
yeah,
That's so creative.
exactly. And it's just a nice way to wear it, you know, wear one piece two different ways. So that's another thing that I love is to be able to be more versatile with my pieces. Whether it's, you know, a scarf as a top or, you know, scarf as an actual scarf. Um, or even wearing it as a belt, you know, with some denim cut off shorts or something, you know, I'm really into that.
Oh my god, that's I'm thinking now of like what scarves do I have that I can wear as a freaking top. That's
Yeah.
so cool. I love that. And like even just finding them from like vintage stores and stuff, like that's kind of fun.
I love vintage, definitely. That is another big thing this year is, you know, kind of making old things into new and repurposing them is a big thing that I like to focus on, especially lately. I know Value Village isn't open right now, but that's usually where I find like I score big time with the scarves and accessories, just about everything, you know, even houseware.
I love it. I love it. Oh my god, the pearl
Yeah.
thing is what I'm definitely gonna be wearing the pearl thing.
Oh,
So
sure. I will
yeah.
definitely give you some links to some great pearl pieces. And my
Yay.
it also ranges, you know, in price, very reasonable as well. So it's
For
good.
sure.
Yeah.
Amazing. Well, thank you for sharing these amazing tips. Thank you for being here, for sharing your knowledge and your wisdom. Where can people find you online and like what are some projects that you want to promote? Like this is your time, shine.
Awesome. So yeah, you can definitely follow me on Instagram. Also I have, so at our Wangle Styling. And then my website, which is www.rebeccawanglestyling.com. I actually have a new project coming up, which will be coming out in June. I am focusing on the LGBTQ community. I'm doing a whole photo shoot with local creative talents, from a dancer, we have a fashion designer, we have a makeup artist, a model, and a pianist as well.
Wow.
I am creating a photo shoot to just spotlight them, give them the time to shine, especially, you know, in June when it's, you know, LGBTQ time and it's Pride Toronto, which I'm very excited.
Yes.
So yeah, that's a new and up and coming project I'll be working on that will be coming out soon. And also, I have a studio space that I'm going to be
Oh
moving into shortly.
my god. Congratulations.
So yeah, so I'll be having once restrictions cool down, I'm going to be having my client consultations there as well as, you know, mini photo shoots for products and things like that. And future things will be some workshops on styling, photography, everything like that.
I love that. And just so everybody knows, you work with both women and men, right?
Yes, yes, I do.
Amazing. Rebecca, thank you so much for your time. I've learned so much from you, and I hope everyone has too. And I'm going to be saving this video so people can watch it later. But thank you, thank you, thank you.
Thank you so much, Amira. I really appreciate you giving me the opportunity to just chat. And yeah, this has been amazing. So thank you.
Happy Monday. This is a great way to start the week.
Yeah, great. Love it.
Bye.
Have a great one.